Hello, I'm here to review the assignment of change the marketplace of soccer. You guys recall I issued out this little half sheet piece of paper warm up. Um, Last class period, we worked the back side of this, and this was the marketplace example number one. And so this is an example of what your back page looked like. I have a video of working through this. I'll show you online, but today we're going to be I'm doing a video of the change in the marketplace of soccer. So this video is going to be covering these aspects of it. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I'm going to go right to the canvas real quick first, and understand that this is what I'm going to be doing first. This area down here that I'm highlighting in this video is really going over this warm up. This warm up will have the back side of it will have marketplace number one, and here's that video. But today I'm going to be covering this in this video right here. So I'm going to stop my share screening real quick so I can go to a different window that I'm going to process this application with. Okay, so there is a little directions on the front of this piece of paper, and I'm going to quickly read it so everybody understands. And this is an activity where we're dealing with the soccer game. Again, this is a made-up scenario, but the made-up scenario is the demand for soccer game increases demand, increases both the equilibrium price and quantity supply. The demand for baseball games, a substitute good, decreases. So the demand for soccer players increases, thus increasing the number of hires and wages. The demand for labor is derived from the good and services. Wages are the prices of labor, salary of baseball players, and the number of hire decreases because of the demand for baseball players is decreased. So the bigger text here where it says, assume that soccer becomes a national pastime and the attendance of professional soccer games exceeded the attendance of professional baseball games, then decreases for the most part. So I'm going to be running through this scenario. I believe this is an easier scenario than we did last class period, which was that I'm dealing with the diminishing of coffee, the substitute with tea. Okay, so this is a little bit easier. Okay, so understand, you should be just basically what I run through each the soccer and the baseball and the soccer players and the baseball players, you should be also having on your same sheet. So I'm going to go with the red color. I'm not asking you guys to change a different color, but I'm first going to start by making identifying where the current equilibrium is at this particular time. Soccer game, that's the equilibrium. I'm making a dotted line, doing my best to do a dotted line and making the current equilibrium. So you're going to have to make first minor adjustments to this and do your best to have a straight line. Mr. Proctor appears is struggling with these mouse clicks, trying to make a straight line, but just do your best. Okay, so we all are going to be stating. I'm just trying to do a little red dot here, identifying the equilibrium point. Okay, so now we're ready to go. So again, I'm going to do the soccer games all the way down. So look at this, okay? And as it noted before, soccer games have increased. They've been having sold out stadiums. Okay, we're talking the U.S. here, Europe. If you want to talk to Europe, England, all those stadiums are full during the soccer game. But and there's been a little shift. Okay? That soccer games are now getting sold out, and baseball attendance are going down. Okay, again, this is a made-up situation. All right, so if that's the case, what's going to happen with the supply and demand line? We're going to see the demand for soccer games increase. All right, so there will be a new demand line for soccer games. With that said, I'm now going to draw my new equilibrium point with this shift and do your best to document a dotted line. Okay. With that said, you can see how the quantity of the soccer games increase and the price of the soccer games will increase. Price meaning the ticket to get into a seat. Okay, so that's the shift. There's been a more demand for soccer games. So if we go down through this list here real quick, ladies and gentlemen, and we compare this, what we'll see is the demand will increase in this scenario. Okay, moving on with the next one, you'll then see the supply for the most part being the same. Okay, so I'm going to circle the equal sign. Followed up with the equilibrium price. You can see this right here. The price is increased, so we're going to circle the increase. And then the quantity, you see the quantity. When we talk about the quantity, we talk about the spectators, the number of seats. So in this case, it also increases with the quantity. So it's very simple. We see that. Finish with the soccer game. Moving on with the baseball. Baseball is like a substitute, okay, for soccer. Okay, so now we're analyzing the baseball. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to find is the demand for soccer games going to the left, which should then be a decrease. Okay, I'm just going to call that D1. I'm then going to draw the equilibrium point by just drawing the dotted lines going across, so you can see this there. I now want to try to draw those arrows. So what we'll find here is the soccer games pricing for the seats most likely will go down, and you also see the quantity, number of seats being sold out will decrease. Okay, as an example. Okay, so if I come down here, we should see that the demand for baseball games will decrease. Again, there's nothing really happening with the supply. There's still going to be the same number of seats in the stands. Okay, so that is going to stay the same. Then we get into the equilibrium price. We can see the price decreases and the quantity also up above decreases. So going through two of the models, this is what the example of the baseball game should look like. Now, moving on to the soccer players and the baseball players, understand these are complementary. To have a soccer game, you got to have players. To have a baseball player, you got to have players. Okay, so we're dealing with complementary items at this particular time. So as I look at this, you're finding that the demand for soccer players, good soccer players, because that's driving up. Maybe we're bringing in more European players to the country to play soccer. So at this particular time, we'll find the demand line also moving to the right. So in a sense, this is probably going to mirror what the soccer games look like, okay, or the model. So I'm now going to do my new equilibrium point here, draw a point, and do your best. You can see Mr. Proctor's kind of messy with his dots. And so what you're going to find here then is the price, the contracts for these players are going to increase, and the quantity, okay, of having better and better and better players are going to increase, okay? So if you look down here, again, it's kind of modeled. The soccer players, the demand for them is going to be increasing. The supply staying the same. And that means like the number of players that can be on the team. Okay, maybe over time they do expand the roster, but at this particular time, let's say it was like number 23. So there's still going to be only 23 players on the team. So the supply is going to stay the same. Okay, now they could open up and bring in new soccer teams, expansion teams. So that could be an adjustment, but at this time, it didn't really discuss that, right? So we'll then find the equilibrium price increasing, and we'll find the equilibrium quantity then also increase. Okay, so that completes the soccer players. Moving on to the last module, baseball players. Again, baseball is a complementary to the baseball games. Okay, so what we're most likely going to find again is this arrow going to the right, and now doing a D and classifying that as D1. Okay, I'm then going to draw the new equilibrium point. Okay, come back down, right? Which now establishes our new equilibrium point. Maybe right about there. Okay, so what we're finding then is that the price, maybe the contracts decrease with baseball players, and the quantity. Okay, the good baseball players are no longer existing. Maybe the USA families are raising their children playing soccer versus baseball. Just a made-up scenario. Okay, so again, I think this is going to mirror the baseball game. So what you're going to find here is the demand going down. You'll find then the supply for the most part being the same because they're housing the same number of people. But then the contracts most likely will decrease, as you can see here, the pricing, and then the equilibrium will decrease. All right, so this is what your model should look like as we end this video. If I stop sharing this real quick, you can go ahead and share again with the ending assignment. Bear with me for a second, right here. So this assignment basically is turned into the basket. Once you have finished the chapter 8, there's going to be chapter 8 questions. So you're going to have a piece of paper that has a front side filled out and the back side filled out. Turn that into the basket after you finish the chapter 8 questions. Thank you so much for working through this warm-up with me.